Godsley, a Call of Duty mobile pro player and content creator, once said this: "Movement is what separates the great players from the good players." In this short video series, I will be teaching you all of the movement tactics that pro players use and how to apply them effectively in your own gameplay to make you virtually unkillable on the battlefield. At the end of this video series, I will also provide you with some helpful tips and resources that are guaranteed to elevate your gameplay regardless of whether you play this game for fun or if you're an aspiring pro looking to get on a good team. If all that sounds interesting to you, stick around because you're in for one hell of a ride. Alright, if you have been following my channel for a while, you may or may not have seen my last video on movement. The purpose of that video was to share a practice routine that I use on a regular basis to improve my movement. Now the thing is, what good is a practice routine without something to actually practice? And that, my friends, is the purpose of this series. Let's dive right into it. I'm sure a lot of you think about movements like Godsley or Ferg doing some 180, killing some guy, bunny hopping and killing the next guy, and then going around the corner to finish off the rest of the enemy team with a beautiful drop shot, and all with one mag. Now, while you're right and that is technically movement, I just like to say that there's more to movement than you guys think. For me, a proper definition of movement would be your ability to traverse or move around the map efficiently, all the while trying your hardest to put yourself in the most favorable conditions. I like this definition because this ties movement in with a key component in this game, and that is called game sense. Game sense is a big part of movement, and here's an example to prove my point. Now imagine some player doing some crazy slide jump tactics in the middle of Crossfire, a map known for being utterly ruthless towards anyone who dares cross its midsection carelessly. Would that be considered good movement or bad movement? So for the Arctic 50 tactical scope campers that are watching this video, I'm pretty sure you already know what you have to do to such a person. The bottom line is that having good movement alone can only take you so far in this game, especially if you're considering competing at a high level. With that being said, you still got to practice your movement, so let's help you get your gear together. And by your gear, I mean your sensitivity and your HUD. Now, right off the bat, I just like to tell you guys that there's nothing like the best sensitivity. Any video that you see telling you about the best sensitivity is clickbait, because there's definitely nothing like the best sensitivity. There's only a right sensitivity for you and your playstyle. So if you see any video telling you, oh, this is the best sensitivity for Call of Duty Mobile, you know that it's clickbait. And I can't believe I just told you this because I'm going to clickbait you guys. But yeah, don't worry, my clickbait is not going to be... Anyway, let's move on. However, as a general rule of thumb, aggressive players will have a much higher sensitivity than people who prefer to use a passive playstyle. I personally use a pretty high sensitivity because I have an aggressive playstyle, and I will put all my settings on the screen right now so you can have an idea of what could possibly look like your sensitivity if you have a similar playstyle and or device. It's also worth mentioning that I got my sensitivity with the help of a video from Hawk's Nest, and I've been using it since, I don't know, since that video came out about several months ago. So I've been using it since, and yeah, the thing about sensitivity is that you want to be as consistent as possible. You don't want to suddenly change from a passive player into an aggressive player just because you can, because you're going to suck. And the thing about sensitivity is that, yeah, you need to be able to find yours by screwing around with it, and you just need to try and be consistent. It's going to take a long time. So I know how long it took me before I found my own sensitivity, and I'm still not as used to it as some other people that have used their sensitivities from season 1 all the way to now. Yeah, it's going to take a lot of time, and you are just going to have to screw around with it, play with it for like a week or two before deciding that you either want to change it or stick with it. And yeah, it's going to really suck, but embrace the suck, because when you start to not suck, you will definitely notice it, and other people will definitely take notice of in this. But seriously, again, it is going to suck, especially if you do not have any experience with mobile gaming, and if you also want to make it into the competitive scene. It's going to seriously suck for a while, but that's okay, and it's all part of the process, as I've just said. Just look at the pro players that you admire. They'll never tell you how many times they sucked at the game, but remember that they're as human as you are. They didn't just wake up and get good. What you're seeing now is just a result of all the efforts that they've put in. Now, for those of you that don't know what it stands for, a HUD, or heads-up display, in this game refers to your button layout. The thing is, your button layout is different from person to person and from device to device, just like your sensitivity settings. These aren't meant to be copied unless you're trying to emulate someone who has a similar playstyle or device to you, or you just want to try something out like God did with his reverse HUD or something. So yeah, but that doesn't mean that you can't get inspiration from other players though. My HUD layout was actually inspired by both God's and Hawk's Nest, so you can learn and emulate whoever you like. So just try and then adapt the good parts, and then take your favorite elements from your different pros and then either keep them the way they are or adapt them to fit your playstyle or whatever. Just do you at the end of the day. Yeah, just like your sensitivity settings, there are some general rules for organizing your HUD. First off, make sure your left thumbstick is big enough for you to consistently land on it after you move your finger. Also, you'd want to set this to fixed joystick instead of virtual. Speaking from experience, I used virtual joystick for quite some time, but believe me when I say that switching over from that to fixed joystick was by far the best decision I made concerning my movement in this game. Even Godsley has also said that he feels fixed joystick is the best for movement, and if you check out any of his settings videos, you will see that he has fixed joystick turned on. Also, concerning your movement buttons, it will do you a lot of good to have them in one comfortable area of your screen so that you can land on them consistently and so that you don't have to travel so far to press them. Also, have them be as visible as possible at first, then you can gradually start turning down the opacity as your muscle memory improves. The thing is, again, you just need to screw around with it until you find what works for you. Again, this will be a long process, but with these tips, you can probably make it a lot faster, and don't worry about it. I know it's going to suck, but yeah, it's all part of the process. Again, nobody just got good at the game. Even those that were kind of decent at the start of the game had to end up practicing, because if you rest on your laurels, people definitely just take advantage of you and make you roll over and die, stuff like that. Don't know why I said that, but anyway, yeah, that's the thing. Just don't stress about it because it's part of the process. And that will bring us to the end of today's video. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button, comment down below what video you want to see next, or anything, pretty much anything, maybe constructive criticism about in this video, or other video ideas that you guys want to see on the channel and stuff like that. I will try to be more consistent on YouTube this month, because this month and the next month, hopefully. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video, because in that video we will be diving deep into movement tactics that you can use to improve your gameplay. And with that being said, I'll see you all next time. Peace.